is Jasmine and I'm back today with a new nursing video. I know I promised you guys this Q&A video last week, but what had happened was but seriously, I filmed the video and then I went to edit it, but I was missing the first like 10-minute clip because there is a lot of questions and I wanted to make sure to answer everybody's questions. So I went to edit it and there was a huge chunk missing. So I was like, let me start over and we'll take a part two, a take two. It is going to take a little bit of time to go over all of these questions, and I want to prepare you guys. It's kind of long, so make sure you get something to drink, something to snack on, and let's just hop into these questions. Okay, so the first question is from Shalissa J. She said, can you talk more about what it's like working in the ICU, also future career goals? I can do like a whole video on what it's like working in the ICU, but to kind of sum it up, it's very fast paced. You have to stay on your toes. You have to catch on quickly. You have to learn quickly. And you have to be very proficient. It is you and the doctor working together to keep a patient alive. It's not just managing short-term illnesses. It is keeping somebody from dying, basically. It is very difficult. That's my short answer. Also, future career goals. Right now, my plan is to finish getting my BSN. I'm currently in the RN to BSN program. Then I plan on, once I get my BSN, I want to get at least 5 years of experience before I go and further my career to eventually become a nurse practitioner. Will I actually become a nurse practitioner? I don't know, but those are my goals as of right now. Danielle Blake said, can you do a quick rundown on your progression skill-wise through school? What I mean is, can you let us know when you learned certain things, how long it took you to master it, what skills you had down by graduation? I ask because I'm finishing my last year and I feel awkward. I have had a suction change and LVAD dressing, irrigate a bladder, hang IV meds, do wound care, trach care, administer PEG meds, feed, drop NG tubes, insert DC Foley, in skills labs and on patients in some cases, but I don't know if I'll be 100% adapt at these skills upon graduating. You won't. You will feel like you know nothing once you graduate. There are some things that you'll know how to do, like give meds through PEG tubes, hang IV meds. It'll take you a while to like troubleshoot IV pumps. It'll take you a while to do NGs. I still, have difficulties putting in IVs sometimes because I get the worst of the worst patients, so I normally get PICC lines and central lines and stuff like that, but you will not be really good at everything coming out of school, and it is something that'll come with time. Denise S. or Natural Nisi said, there's no other way to ask this question, so here we go. Undergarments, do you recommend a sports bra like situation during clinicals? If so, any recommendations? I can't honestly see wearing my good bras while moving and shaking, literally. I can't be the only person to separate my good bras from the others, LOL. Also, did your school require the ATI review modules? Okay, so for the first question, I highly recommend sports bras. Do not wear your good bras to work. Do not wear like underwire bras and all that situation. You want to be comfortable as possible because you're going to be there for a long time. So I would definitely recommend sports bras. I only wear sports bras and I don't like spend a lot of money. I go to Walmart and get sports bras. I have a couple of Victoria's Secret sports bras. I have a couple of Forever 21 sports bras. Like anything that's cheap. Also, yes, my school did require the ATI review modules. I think they highly prepared me for NCLEX style questions, and I'm going to tell you to do as many questions as much as you can, and don't stop doing them until you take NCLEX. Beauty Undefined said, do you have any school tips for nursing school? What class did you find most difficult in nursing school, and did you have any tips that were helpful for clinicals? As far as study tips, I would recommend once you leave class, go somewhere where you can like eat. As far as like if they have Wi-Fi, what I would do, I would leave school, I would go to like Starbucks or Barnes and Nobles. We would do a lot of study groups at Barnes and Nobles just because they have free Wi-Fi. McDonald's now has free Wi-Fi. I really don't like McDonald's, but they do have free Wi-Fi. Panera Bread is somewhere we went often because they have free Wi-Fi. And then just go and study. Don't go directly home unless you have to go to work. Because then you get sidetracked by a million other things you have to do. So just go review over the stuff that you learned and study that way. Make sure you study before any big test. Sometimes you have to sacrifice, you know, your playtime for studying. What class did I find most difficult? Oh my God, pharmacology. Pharmacology was by far the hardest course I ever took in nursing school, hands down. And do you have any tips that will be helpful for clinicals? Go determined to learn. Ask as many questions. I don't care if the person that you're following is like hella annoyed with you. Ask as many questions as you can. Ask them if you can do as many skills as your instructor will allow you to do, and treat it like it's a job interview. You never know who's watching you. That's how I got my ICU position. Talk to as many people as you can, even if it's a section that you don't particularly want to work. Seem as interested as possible. Afia Duffy said, can you please tell us about time management when studying nursing and how to cope if you have kids and married? Please, thank you. I went to school. After school, my kids I usually get out around noonish, 1-ish if we're running over. My kids don't come home till 3. So that leaves me about 2 to 3 hours to study. I would go somewhere and have lunch. Say I would go to Starbucks. I would have lunch there, and then I would go over the materials that we studied for that day. Once I finished reviewing, I would come home, help my kids, you know, clean their homework. We're eating dinner, and then they would head off to football practice. I would work out while they're at football practice. Once they come home, they're showered, they're in the bed. Once everybody is in the bed, guess what Jasmine is doing? She's staying up studying. And then I would try to study for like another hour or two, and then, I mean, if I have a test, there were some nights I would be up to like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning studying. And then I'm in the bed. On the weekends, I devote the weekends to my family. Like, you have to make time for them. There are sometimes you have to be selfish, but you have to make sure not to seclude yourself and like kind of step back from your family. You can't do that. And then if I had a test coming up Monday, guess what I was doing? Sunday night, I was studying. So Miss Fantasy 2013 said, hi, hello. I was thinking about being a nurse. I wanted to know, would I have to retake my ACT, and what do I need to do to apply? Here's a snippet of info. High school graduate 2.5, ACT is 16, first degree English Lit 3.3, second degree counseling education 3.8, will complete in May. Will I have to start over? The thing about nursing is it doesn't matter how many degrees you have. It doesn't matter really what your ACT is. It all is about your prerequisites. You seem to have a lot of English courses and probably a lot of history courses, psychologies and stuff like that. So you're still going to have to take a lot of sciences. Sciences, whatever. Because a lot of general nursing courses require like anatomy and physiology 1 and 2, microbiology, chemistry, so on and so forth. But you're definitely just going to have, your ACT and high school graduation doesn't really matter. You're going to have to take a nurse interest test, which I had to sit for the T's. And you just have to make sure whatever nursing program you're going into, that you have the prerequisites required. Cassidy Elaine said, hi, I'm in high school and I've been thinking heavily about what part of the medical field I want to enter. As a nurse, what do you deal with? Is it physical or is it some of it mental? With your patients. Example is a family is freaking out about something. Is it common to handle? Thank you so much for helping me make my decision. Hello, Cassie. Congratulations on almost being done with high school. School is starting back, so hopefully you're finished and you're going to college soon. So if you want to be a nurse, it is something that you have to definitely be passionate about, because nursing is difficult. It is very physical, and it is even more mentally challenging than I ever thought it was going to be. I am in a tough area, so mine is a little bit more mental. Definitely, I have to think critically all the time as well as be there for my patients and my patient's family, especially if my patient is not doing so well and it is looking like they're gonna, you know, pass away. It is very common to deal with family members who are freaking out. Anytime you hear anybody is in the ICU, you automatically freak out. So I have to talk to patients' families a lot. I have to be very therapeutic. I also have to make sure that my patient is first, because sometimes there is a lot of family drama. But you just have to make sure nursing is something you're passionate about. Don't go into it for the money, because I am telling you, the money does not even compare to what you have to go through every single day. So make sure it's something you really want to do. Nurse CW said, Jasmine, can you do a video on how to compose a brain book? And I already did that. If you have not seen how I take report, or how to take a report like a pro, I will leave that video in the description box. Click on it and it will show you everything that I do. More Me Sophia said, do you have any tips, tricks, or advice from your experience taking the NLN pre-entrance exam? Is nurse everything you expected it to be? In the event that nursing did not work out for you, did you have a backup plan? If so, what was it? As someone who is on the path of getting into school, nursing school program, I can't help but doubt sometimes. This will be my second time taking the exam, and I'm really worried because basically I need to get this since time is not in my favor. Any advice? To answer the first question, I did not have to take the NLN entrance exam. I had to sit for the TEAS exam. And honestly, I just paid for it, showed up, took it. I'm sorry. I wish I had more advice for you as far as that. Is nursing everything you expected it to be? No. I did not expect to clean so much, but I clean up a lot of body fluids. I was not expecting that. And I was not expecting to be in the ICU. I did not know it was going to be as mentally challenging as it is. In the event that nursing did not work out for you, did you have a backup plan? Yes, I did. I had already told my husband when I was waiting for my responses of if I got in, if I didn't get in. I was like, look, if I don't get in, I'm going to cosmetology school. I'm going to do makeup and I'm going to do hair. But I never had to use my backup plan because I got into both nursing schools. Mariette Satoya said, hi Jasmine, I'm reapplying for nursing school next semester. I am very nervous. I have been in a program before and my study habits were not on point. Are there any tips that you can provide for studying or words of wisdom that you can give me on how to make it through? Do the opposite of everything you did the first time around. I'm going to be harsh. I'm going to be hard because I feel like if you put your mind to it and it's something that you really want, you can achieve it. And I am not going to let you slack off. I am not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to sugarcoat everything. You have to study. You have to prioritize. You cannot procrastinate. You have to be on it. If you need extra help, you get tutoring from somebody. You do study groups with friends because you do make friends in nursing school. You guys are all going through the same struggle. You are all at the same point in your life. You know what to expect because you've already been in a program. Now you have to buckle down and you have to do it. You study your ass off. If it's something that you really want, don't make excuses and you'll be perfectly fine. I wish you the best of luck. I know you'll do amazing because you already know the feeling of failure. That's not a feeling that anybody wants. I don't personally want that for you. I want all of you huns who are pursuing the dream of being a nurse to reach your dreams. And I'm here for you if you have any questions. Mio Allison says, I am graduating in December and I'm strongly considering critical care. Last semester I worked in the ICU and I did my summer externship in the ICU as well. So I'm falling in love with critical care. In my school they always say med surg for a year and then expand. I kind of want to just dive in. Any advice on going straight to the ICU as a new grad? Do you have any insight on being a brown girl and how that may or may not affect you in your profession? I am from South Carolina and from what I've seen, there aren't too many black ICU nurses. Any feedback would be great. Girl, they told us the same thing in school. Med surg first. Don't jump into a specialty first. Because honestly, fresh out of school, I wanted to be a labor and delivery postpartum nurse. And I got stuck into that mindset too of no, don't get stuck into a specialty. And if you want to be an ICU nurse fresh out of school, apply. I'm going to tell you from what I've experienced is a lot of the hospitals that people don't want to work in are where you're going to get in your foot in the door in the ICU. Like the hospitals in the downtown areas, the hospitals that take patients with no Medicare, no insurance at all. Those, you know, they're probably not the newest hospitals, but they're more like the county hospitals. Those are the areas where you will get your foot in the door at first. But I'm going to tell you to apply everywhere to the ICU. Go as many interviews as you possibly can. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. I am a perfect example. Fresh out of school, straight into the ICU, and there was about 9 of us in my class. No, I don't know. There was about 9 new grads that started with me, and my director is still hiring new grads. So definitely, if it's something you want, do it. I live in San Antonio right now. It is predominantly Hispanic, and I find no issue being black. Bria Wilson said, I am currently a senior nursing student with only a few months left. Congrats. Wish you the best. I am getting my BSN and I am nervous about the interviewing process, about the interviewing and application process. Do you know if employers look at your GPA and may choose other candidates with higher GPAs? I am currently on the Honor Roll Society, but I am pushing to graduate with honors. Any suggestions? They don't care. I am going to tell you, I was a predominantly B student. I think I graduated with like a 3.17 or something like that. I did not graduate cum laude, and that is perfectly fine with me. Honestly, experience trumps everything. If you are a new grad, it is all about presentation, and it is all about likability. Is likability a word? I don't know if that's a word. I could have just made that up. But I sounded like I knew what I was talking about, right? It is all about your peer interview and how the other nurses that are interviewing you relate to you. Just be calm, be relaxed. At the end of your nursing program, your school should offer like a resume building class. So that is what is going to get you your interview. Once you get the interview, everything is going to completely be up to you. Just answer your questions as truthfully as you can. Be yourself. Make sure you dress professional and you'll be perfectly fine. Jasmine Hager, hey. So Jasmine said, hi, do you know of accelerated nursing programs? I have a bachelor's in nursing and a master's in health administration. Yes, I do know of accelerated nursing program. If you already have your BSN and you have your master's, then you shouldn't have to go back. I'm kind of confused on what the question was. Love Betsy said, hi, I have several. So I'm going to answer hers one at a time. Her first question is, how do you manage school, home, work, and family? I already kind of answered that question. Any supplemental books that help you through med-surg and or other classes? No. Did you read every chapter assigned from front to back? Hell no. And then her last question is long-lasting makeup recommendations and tips for clinicals. Very minimal makeup. I actually used to wear makeup to clinicals. I don't know why. But like a long-lasting foundation, especially when you start doing your 12 hours. A little bit of brows, mascara, lip gloss, a little bit of blush if need so. Very simple. So YouTubers001 says, how do you feel about MPs having to get their doctorates? Do you want to one day become an advanced practice nurse? And are you happy with nursing? Have you worked night shift? And how is working 12 hours on your body? I feel like nurses needing their doctorates is a bunch of baloney, for one, because I feel like if I wanted my doctorates and I just would have went to school to be a doctor. I do want to become a nurse practitioner. The only thing that right now is making me second guess that is if I am going to be required to get my doctorate, because first of all, that is very, very expensive. Second of all, that was going to take me a very long time. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see in 5 years what happens. I ever work night shift, girl? No. I am old lady status. By like 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'm like, I can't take anymore. Put me underneath the bed, turn off all the lights because I'm about to be knocked out. Do you hear me? old lady status. Maria Simone said, what are the best kinds of shoes to wear? In my program, we have to wear all black, non-porous shoes for clinicals. I went through my first clinical wearing Skechers work shoes because I couldn't wear my Nikes. 2 semesters down, 3 more to go. They were like knockoff Danskos. They were by Cherokee. They also make scrubs. Cherokee makes scrubs. And I wore those. Very comfortable. Hella ugly, but very comfortable. And they did the job. But now that I can wear whatever I want to wear, I wear Nike Rochers. So comfortable. Best work shoes ever. Alexis Nadina said, hi, I know every school is different and I'm working on my prereqs for nursing school. I'm really nervous about getting in because of grades. If I get an A in anatomy, my GPA will be 3.5. Do you think that's good enough to get in nursing school, or should I retake a class? So, I don't know how every nursing school is. I can't account for everybody, but here in San Antonio, the way that both programs that I applied to, which I can tell you guys now because I don't go to school there anymore. So I applied to San Antonio Community College, Baptist School of Healthcare Professions, which is a private program, but that is accredited. So how they did it was everything works off of a point system. So I don't know the exact points, but I do know it works off a point system. So like for every A, you get like 4 points. Every B, you get 3. Every C, you get 2. You don't get credit for anything else. And you actually are required to have C's or better in all of your prereqs before any program will take you. So basically what happens is they get all of your prereqs that are required. They add up all of your points. You are placed on a list according to your points. So say if there are 40 slots to start in this fall and there are 70 applicants, you have to make sure your points are higher than the last 30 so that way you can get a spot. So say if the minimum you can get is like, I don't know, 70 points and you have 69 points and there's another applicant that has 70 points, guess what? You've just been booted off the list and then you don't get in. So I would say apply either way it goes. Your GPA really doesn't matter. Everything here is based off of a point system. If you don't get in, and say if you have like a C in a class, try to retake that class that you have a C in. Naturally yours says how to study for the TEAS exam, new version out now. Can I work full-time or even on call when I start the nursing program? And how soon into the nursing program should I start getting familiar with NCLEX material? Thanks. So, first question. I did not study for the TEAS test. Honestly, guys, I paid for it. I showed up, I took it, and I passed it. I know people who work full-time, so I'm going to sit in front of you and say that it is doable, but it is hard. But I know people who work full-time. I also know people who started working but had to stop working because our schedule got really crazy. And then there's people like me who didn't work. I did not work. My husband thought it was not in the best interest of me or our family if I was to work, and I completely agree with him now. At the time, I was like really frustrated because I was like, I can do it. I can be superwoman. I can work and go to school. But now that I look back on it, I'm so thankful that I have my husband who makes sense when I don't, because I don't think it would have been possible for me to completely pass nursing school with the grades that I did. How soon into the nursing program should I get familiar with NCLEX material? Don't worry about that. This is one thing that I find a lot of people ask me questions about. They're like, when should I start preparing for NCLEX? Should I start at the beginning or the middle or the... No. The easiest thing to do is to get into nursing school. The hardest thing to do is to stay in nursing school. I'm going to tell you that now. Getting in was a breeze compared to staying in. You cannot fall below an 80. So don't worry about NCLEX, because guess what? If you don't make an 80 and pass the course that you're in, you will never make it to NCLEX. Wait until your last semester. When you start going over NCLEX materials and you start reviewing for it, there's like a whole course that prepares you for it. Wait for that and then start worrying about NCLEX. What you need to do is worry about getting in, and once you get in, worry about staying in. So Sierra Reynolds said, I'm going for my associates, and since you already have yours, what is the difference in a person with an associate's or a bachelor's in the hospital? Is a nurse with a bachelor's expected to know more than a person with an associate's? Are they treated differently? Hell no. Are they treated differently? No, they are not. They are treated exactly the same. There is no difference working with the person with their bachelor's versus working with the persons with their associates. Now that I am in the bachelor's program, they say the difference is applying nursing theory as well as like community nursing. But when you're in the hospital, you're expected to know the same amount of stuff. The only reason why I'm getting my bachelor's is because a lot of hospitals are now requiring that you have a bachelor's. And also, if you want to work for a magnet hospital, which usually they pay you more, all magnet hospitals require you to have your bachelor's, or you can get hired with your associates and sign an intent saying that within a set amount of years you will receive your bachelor's or you will be terminated. Glam by Heather, hey girl, hey. She said, I would love to see a video like a day in the life of an RN from when you wake up and videoing throughout your day. I would love to see it. I'm starting school in January here in Oklahoma. Congratulations on getting into your program. I read this question and I was honestly trying to find a way to do this for you guys. I was like, how can I do this? There is no way that I could do that. Like, I legally cannot do that because I cannot show you guys my patients. I cannot show you guys any patient information. I cannot show you like how I chart or labs or x-rays or radiology transcripts or anything because that is violation of HIPAA. I cannot show you my patients' medications. Like, it has their names and their account numbers and everything on it. So that is also a violation of HIPAA. I will legally have my ass handed to me if I was to do anything of the sort. So sorry, hun, but I cannot do that. Hillary Overdyk. I don't know how to say your name, Hillary. I am sorry, but I'm just going to say Hillary. What was your interview like to get into nursing school? What kinds of questions did they ask you? Did you have to put together a packet for the interview, such as test scores, grades, essays? I'm almost at the point of applying and testing, and I'm really nervous. Any help, suggestion, tips would be great. So, my school did not require a pre-interview. All I had to do was submit my official transcripts, and I had to submit my application, and that was it. Ashanti Allen said, if you could go back and do nursing school over, what would you do differently? I probably wouldn't procrastinate as much in the beginning as I did. I probably wouldn't, like, I don't know, shop as much as I did in class. Honestly, I probably would do everything the same way I did it. Robertson said, hi, I'm about to graduate LPN and I'm trying to debate if I should do the transition program to RN and then after I graduate start an online BSN program, or if I should just go straight through a BSN program. I initially was in the RN program and failed a class, dropped down to LPN, and I really pushed me back. It really pushed me back. So also study tips, I find myself so on the edge about nursing school and never really sat down and focused and studied. Okay, so I was never an LPN, but in the second year of my RN program, we had LPNs join us that did the LPN to RN bridge. So I would say everything is based on what you want to do. If you want to work as an RN sooner, I would say do the LPN to RN bridge. You can sit for NCLEX, you can work as an RN, and then you can do the RN to BSN program online, and you could be bringing in more money financially and then still going to school and eventually get your BSN. However, if you want to work as an LPN and just go directly into a BSN program, it is going to require you more focus as far as you're still going to have to do clinicals in the BSN program. You're still going to have to go to campus. There's no LPN to BSN program. It is strictly, you got to either be an RN to be in the BSN program, or it's like starting fresh. You're still going to have a lot of prerequisites that you're going to need before you can get into the BSN program. So it's just basically up to what you want to do. If it was me, because I'm about my coins, I would definitely say do the LPN to RN bridge. Once you become an RN, do the RN to BSN. That's my easiest way. If it was me. But like I said, it's up to you. I mean, don't let me make decisions for your life, honey. You got to do that on your own. She said, I find myself on edge about nursing school that I never can really sit down and focus and study. You have to focus and study or you will not pass. I'm telling you. If you need to exclude yourself away from everybody, you got to do it. If that means losing some friends during the process, honey, believe me, it happened to me. You have to do it. Miss Erase said, what brands of pens do you use and what are some comfortable shoes that you recommend? I use the Sharpie Papermate pens. Absolutely love those. I love ballpoint pens. So that's, again, personal preference. And I love Nike Rochers. Brandy Princess, how long did it take you to become comfortable as a new nurse? Girl, I did not start becoming comfortable until about 6 months off of orientation. And that is just like comfortable showing up and not like my stomach being like bubble guts and like nervous, like, oh my God, what kind of patient am I going to get? And I had 3 months of orientation, so that's 9 months before I was like not nauseated every time I showed up to work. And there's still a lot of stuff that I don't know and that I'm not comfortable with, so yeah. Were you nervous about asking other nurses for help with things that you weren't unsure about? Girl, no. I ask questions still to this day. If I have a question, somebody's going to answer my question. I don't care if you like it or not. I am a person, I definitely feel like my patient safety is of the utmost importance. And if I am unsure about anything before I do anything that can potentially cause more harm to my patient in the situation that they are already in, I'm going to go and ask questions. I'm going to go and get something clarified. And I would recommend that for any new nurse. Ask questions. Ask until you understand it. And then the last question that I have is, do you see yourself working as a regular staff nurse for your entire career? Girl, no. That is not something that I can do until I retire. It is very strenuous. There's, like I said, there's nurses that have been on my floor for like 30 something odd years. That is just not something that I see myself doing forever. Whether it be going the nurse practitioner way, whether it be going the case management way, I definitely don't think I would want the hassle of like director. Not saying that I will never be a director. Maybe it's a possibility, you know, I could be the director of my own unit. But right now, that's not something that I want. But I eventually do want to be a nurse practitioner and work maybe in like a family practice clinic. Or like maybe a specialty clinic. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet, but I know that I definitely won't be a floor nurse forever. So that wraps up all the questions. Sorry that this video was super long and super late. But like I said, I had some technical difficulties. Until the next time, make sure to follow me on the gram. And make sure to follow me on Snapchat. I am always on there. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to leave them in the below box. I was going to say description box. It's not. Leave it in the comment section. And until the next video, I'll talk to all you hunts later. Bye.